So, today we're going to dive into a pretty interesting take on the classic MBA. This one's from a place called the Atlanta College of Liberal Arts and Sciences, or ACLAS for short. Now, it's 100% online, and they're making a pretty big claim that this is a total game changer for ambitious professionals. So what's the deal? What makes their model so different from the traditional path? Let's take a closer look.
All right, let's put ourselves in this mindset. You're at that point in your career where you're really thinking, okay, what's next? Maybe you're looking up the ladder, eyeing that C-suite job, or maybe you've got that brilliant idea buzzing in your head, and you're ready to build your own business from scratch. You know, these are the exact kinds of goals that get people thinking, maybe it's time for an MBA.
And that's really the first big question, isn't it? How do you actually go from just wanting these things to making them happen? I mean, it's one thing to have the ambition, to have that drive, but it's a whole other ballgame to have the right skills and the right strategy to actually get you there.
Now, this slide really gets to the heart of it. These big career leaps, climbing the ladder, starting your own thing, totally switching industries, they all demand a very specific kind of knowledge. You know, it's not just about working harder, it's about working smarter, making better strategic calls, actually understanding the numbers, and having the tools to prove your value. These are huge hurdles, and frankly, they often require a major upgrade to your skill set.
Okay, so how does this ACLS MBA plan on tackling all that? Well, their whole vision is to create a new kind of MBA, one that's designed from the ground up for people who are already deep in their careers. You know, people who can't just press pause on their entire life for 2 years to go back to a traditional campus. So their model is built on two core principles. It's 100% online, and it's completely self-paced. Now, this isn't just about making things convenient. They're presenting this as a fundamental redesign of the whole educational experience. The idea is that you can get a top-tier business education without quitting your job, without giving up your income. For a lot of working professionals, that right there removes a massive, massive barrier. So how does this ACLS program actually build your expertise? Well, the whole structure is built around this idea of a leadership toolkit. So instead of the sprawling multi-year curriculum, the focus is on a really condensed set of skills that they say are absolutely essential for leading in today's business world.
And this slide really says it all about their philosophy. Just 8 core courses. The thinking here seems to be to deliver a streamlined, really potent curriculum that connects that foundational business theory with what's actually happening out there in the real world right now. The goal is no filler, just the essentials.
And here's a look at what's actually in that toolkit. You can see it split into 2 main areas. On one side, you've got the foundational skills, the real nuts and bolts of finance, strategy, and operations. And then on the other side, you've got strategic leadership, courses on HR, marketing, and developing teams. The goal really seems to be to give you a full 360-degree view of how an organization works and the skills you need to actually lead it. But honestly, this is where things get really, really interesting. It's not just about what you learn, it's about how that learning is measured. This is where that idea of learning on your own terms really comes to life. This comparison just lays it all out. Think about traditional education. It's all about rigid timelines, fixed deadlines, and that high-pressure finals week. We all remember that, right? Well, the ACLS model just flips that on its head. It's completely self-paced. You take the online exams for each course when you feel ready, not when a calendar tells you to. I mean, if you're a busy professional juggling a job, a family, and now school, that kind of flexibility is a total game changer. And this quote right here gets to the heart of their whole philosophy. The goal isn't just to meet a deadline. It's to achieve a true and practical mastery of the subject matter. Their self-paced model is designed to support that. It lets you really dig into the material until you're genuinely confident you understand it, not just ready to cram for a test. All right, so let's put it all together. What does this all add up to? When you take this focused curriculum and this super flexible, self-paced structure, what's the intended outcome? What does this model of mastery actually produce? The key takeaway is this. The entire program, from its condensed curriculum to its flexible exams, seems to be engineered to produce one main thing. It's about equipping students with practical skills and, maybe more importantly, the confidence to step into those really complex business situations and just lead effectively. It's all about turning that ambition we talked about at the beginning into real, tangible capability. And that leaves us with a really fascinating, much bigger question to think about. I mean, the ACLS MBA is just one example of this shift. Is a model like this, totally online, completely self-paced, and focused on mastery over deadlines, is that the future for all professional education? What do we gain, and maybe what could we lose when we completely redesign the old structures of learning? It's definitely something to chew on.